It's time now for a look at what's been making headlines here in a week in France. And it's hot here in France. The country's weather service expects the current heat wave to be, quote, widespread, prolonged, and intense. Temperatures in some areas could top 40 degrees Celsius on Sunday, leading several municipalities to cancel local Fête de la Musique celebrations. The state-owned utility EDF is also warning that 3 nuclear power plants face production curbs next week because of high temperatures on the Rhone and Garonne rivers. Rachel Griffith has more.
It's the second heat wave France has seen this spring. Today, more than half the country was placed on orange alert, covering 53 departments, affecting tens of millions of people. Highs of around 36 degrees Celsius are forecast in Paris and the region around the capital, with the French Riviera seeing highs of 38 degrees. In the Bordeaux vineyards, the working day now begins at sunrise.
If the temperature climbs above 30 degrees in the afternoon and the nights are often warm, we switch to a summer schedule. In other words, instead of sticking to 8 a.m. to midday and 2 p.m. to 6 p.m., we adapt and work from 6:30 in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon at the latest.
With France's annual baccalaureate student exams currently underway, schools are also taking steps to cope. Some classes are cancelled or schedules are shifted around to help students and staff beat the heat.
We're going to drink more water. We're starting at 8 a.m, so I think it's still better for us to start at 8 than if we were in the afternoon. After that, revising for the rest of the day and for other subjects for the baccalaureate, it might be more complicated to concentrate from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Rail services have also been disrupted due to failing air conditioning on some lines. Nuclear plants could face production curbs by next week because of the high temperatures of some rivers. According to Météo France, the heatwave will stretch past next week. A peak is expected between Sunday and Tuesday, with temperatures reaching 40 degrees Celsius in western and central France.
The 3-day G7 summit hosted by France wrapped up on Wednesday, but U.S. President Donald Trump and French President Emmanuel Macron were treated to a lavish dinner at the Versailles Palace. For more than 400 years, the opulent chateau has welcomed many foreign dignitaries and heads of state. Eliza Herbert takes a brief look at who the palace has welcomed in recent decades.
It is one of the grandest gestures a French president can make, a private invitation to the Palace of Versailles. And US President Donald Trump appears impressed.
The French president, who happens to be a very nice man, invited me to dinner at Versailles. And Versailles is not a gold leaf. Versailles is the real deal.
King Louis XIV's royal residence has long been a place of pomp, splendour and diplomacy. In June 1961, General Charles de Gaulle hosted the Kennedys. In 1972, England's Queen Elizabeth II was invited by Georges Pompidou. And in 1990, during a conference on security and cooperation in Europe, François Mitterrand organised a grand evening, complete with a ball and a banquet for George Bush, Mikhail Gorbachev, Margaret Thatcher and Helmut Kohl. Even Libya's controversial colonel, Muammar Gaddafi, was granted access to the House of Mirrors in 2007.
When you step inside this palace, you can't help but be dazzled by such beauty.
President Emmanuel Macron opened the golden doors of the chateau to Russian President Vladimir Putin in 2017, before their deep rupture over Ukraine.
I spoke very clearly about France's expectations to President Putin.
And more recently, he hosted King Charles III and Queen Camilla for the palace's 400th birthday in 2021. For Trump, however, Macron has insisted that there will be no gala dinner, downplaying criticisms that he is fawning over the US president at a time when the pair's relationship is strained.
Paris Saint-Germain football star Achraf Hakimi will stand trial in a rape case here in France. The defender is currently playing with the Morocco team at the World Cup. Hakimi appealed a February decision by an investigating judge, but in issuing its ruling, the appeals court said there was sufficient evidence to move forward. He was accused of raping a 24-year-old woman in his home in March 2023, allegations he has denied. Camille Corcoran has more.
He is the star of the Moroccan football team, 2 times Champions League winner with Paris Saint-Germain, and often dubbed the best right-back in the world. But after a protracted legal battle, Achraf Hakimi is to stand trial on rape charges. In a post on X, the player steadfastly defended his innocence.
Today, a story that is not mine is being told at the expense of my family, my life, and above all, the truth. I sometimes feel as though I've become an easy target. I've been waiting for this trial since day one. I'm eagerly looking forward to it. Finally, I'll be able to speak out.
Preliminary rape charges were first brought in 2023 by a then 24-year-old woman. She alleged that Hakimi kissed her, touched her without her consent, and then raped her at his home in a Paris suburb. The footballer appealed a February indictment by French prosecutors over the allegations. But on Friday, a Versailles court ruled that there was sufficient evidence to move forward with a rape trial. Speaking after the ruling, the plaintiff's lawyer said the decision had brought hope and relief to her client.
What I have seen from the very beginning of this case is that in the world of football, when a woman reports being raped, people are very quick to assume that it must be false, that she is either mad or lying, as if such a thing could not possibly happen. I think there is still a long way to go in the fight against sexual violence in men's football.
The decision comes as Hakimi is set to captain Morocco in its second World Cup game against Scotland on Friday, following a 1-1 draw with Brazil last Sunday. A date for the trial in the Hauts-de-Seine Department Criminal Court has not yet been set.
And it was a partnership beset by controversy, and now it's over. Department store BHV is breaking up with Chinese-founded retailer Shein after new management came in to take over the beleaguered Parisian icon, announcing the end of the contract between the two and admitting that a strategic error had been made. This story from our colleagues at France Television and our own Luke Schrago.
BHV has always been one of Paris's premier landmarks, but the flagship department store's partnership with Asian low-cost retailer Shein left it on the ropes, and now BHV is walking away.
They've got these polo shirts for about €10. I got 5 of them.
This customer is disappointed.
It's a pity they've got something for everyone.
For others, though, Shein had no business being on BHV property.
The quality isn't great. It's shameful. It destroyed a big shop like that.
It scores a line under a relationship that lasted just 8 months and was as marked by as much controversy as it was praise. At the time, BHV thought it was making a solid move.
This marks the dawn of a new era for BHV, a BHV set to embrace new businesses, new markets, and a new customer base.
However, the partnership with Shein did anything but as brands flooded out, leaving one of the French capital's major shopping experiences look partly abandoned, and the store's new management has taken responsibility.
We have learned from past mistakes. We operated on the basis of a property-focused approach. We forgot about the customer.
BHV will now go back to a proven formula focusing on homewares and DIY. But according to one expert, Shein will have left a lingering bad taste behind.
Now there is a triple challenge: to win back customers, to attract brands and to remotivate staff.
Shein won't be disappearing completely, though. 7 other BHVs in the Paris region will retain a partnership with the Chinese-founded brand.
The Pont Neuf cavern and artwork by French street artist JR, who's sometimes referred to as the French Banksy, is now open to visitors here in Paris. The installation, made from printed fabric and air, transforms Paris's oldest bridge into an artificial cavern through a visual, auditory, and olfactory experience. Juliet Brown has the details.
A giant cave inflated around the French capital's oldest bridge. Street artist JR's latest creation has been sparking curiosity for weeks. Now open to the public after storm damage delayed its debut, the installation is drawing happy visitors.
I'm always impressed by his creations.
I like the idea of monumental artworks in Paris. It brings the city to life, transforms the buildings, gives you a new perspective.
The project is a tribute to artists Christo and Jeanne-Claude, who wrapped the bridge in pale golden fabric 40 years ago, drawing around 3 million visitors. The 120-metre immersive gallery combines visual, auditory and olfactory elements. The smell of damp earth, the sound of the wind echoing beneath the vaults.
You can smell it. There are scents, sounds. It's an unusual, unexpected landscape.
It really feels like you're in the mountains.
I didn't expect it to be this big, this breathtaking.
The artist JR is often referred to as the French Banksy. His works have famously taken over iconic Parisian landmarks such as the Louvre, the Palais Garnier, or the Eiffel Tower. But they can be found all over the world, from this piece on the Mexico-US border to this one in Cuba.
My projects are often more likely to fail than succeed, but when they do work, there's something magical about them because everything has been done by hand. And in a world where technology is always advancing faster, this fragility brings us back to ourselves.
10 days later than planned, the opening may have come at just the right time. The inflatable structure, covered in canvas, is said to provide a cool refuge against the sweltering temperatures expected in Paris in the coming days.